Hi guys, I'm going to talk about something that I actually find quite painful and might be quite triggering. I put a video of it on my Facebook today, and somebody said, somebody that I really like, and I hope the feeling's mutual as well, in a friendship way, of course, said, "Oh, that really hurt," and that made me sad that it hurt, and I don't know if that's a good thing, like not a good thing, it'd never be a good thing, but I don't know if he meant, "Oh, that was too far," or not. I want to talk about the hidden grief of nostalgia as a neurodivergent person. Have you ever looked back at a time in your life that you know should have felt absolutely amazing? For example, the birth of your children, your pregnancy, or, expecting your children, or big milestones in your life. But when you try to remember it, it feels so distant, like you can't capture it. Almost like you're remembering someone else's life instead of your own. Almost like it's an out of body experience. I don't think we talk enough about how nostalgia can feel different for neurodivergent people, and I've only just realised a correlation lately after I started talking about nostalgia, and a lot of neurodivergent people have been saying stuff about nostalgia too. For me, nostalgia isn't just missing the past like I would suspect normal nostalgia is. It's grieving moments that I never got to fully experience while they were happening. For so much of my life, I wasn't actually living in the moment, I was surviving it. So, throughout my pregnancies, throughout my good times, I was just surviving and just getting through day to day, even throughout my children's childhood. And that is particularly painful for me to think about. Um, I can't remember a lot of the memories from when they were small because I was trying to survive and I wasn't in the right place to create memories. I was just getting through life. When your nervous system spends years scanning for danger, masking, or trying to fit in and managing overwhelm, or simply making it through the day, being present can become incredibly difficult, and then you're left with this horrible guilt a couple of decades later thinking, shit, I wasn't present for my children's childhood, and then you miss it, and you miss something that you were there for, and that's so shit because you're like, oh, if only I could have just woke up. You could be sitting at your own birthday, or on your dream holiday, or watching your children laugh, or achieving something that you worked towards for years, and you can still feel so disconnected from that memory, where other people seem to remember their beautiful memories fine, and it's not because you don't care. I can't even remember how much my children weighed, and I love my children with my whole entire soul. In fact, I find it hard to separate my children from myself because I just I can't tell you the physical love that I feel for them. But I can't remember how much they weighed at birth, which is so out of character for me. But it's not because I don't care, but it's because my brain is using so much energy just trying to cope that there isn't much left to fully absorb what was happening around me. I think there's something so many people misunderstand. People assume memories are automatic, God given rights, but memory depends sometimes on attention, and attention depends on feeling safe enough to actually experience what is happening. Sometimes you're hyper vigilant, and that takes away your attention, and sometimes you're just in autopilot and then you don't pay attention. Like when you go for a drive and you think, wow, how did I get from A to B? That's what my life has been like a lot. And no, I don't remember what happened between the A to B. I just know that thank God that I got there. If your brain is in survival mode, it prioritizes getting through the moment and not preserving it. I actually understand that I sound like I'm crying today. Don't know what's going on with my voice, but I'm not. I'm okay. Then years later, something triggers a memory. It could be a song, a photograph, a smell, an old Facebook post, or something someone says. And suddenly you're overwhelmed with this aching feeling, not just because you miss that time, because you feel like you don't fully own the rights to it, because you feel like you wasn't fully there. You realise that you was never really there. You can't remember the facts. You remember that you went on a holiday, you remember that you got married, and you remember that your children were little, but emotionally, it can feel like trying to grab a puff of smoke. You know the memory exists, you just can't reach it in the way that you wish that you could. And I think that's a very particular kind of grief. You're mourning an experience you technically had, but never got to fully live. And I'm so angry at the people that treated me like shit because that made my nervous system act up and it means that I couldn't experience my children's childhood properly. I'm so angry at myself for letting that happen. I hold so much guilt. It doesn't mean those memories don't matter. It means your nervous system was doing exactly what it believed it needed to do to keep you safe. I just also want to say something really important. This isn't true for every neurodivergent person. Can I just say that just because you didn't have this experience doesn't mean you're not neurodivergent, or because you did have this experience doesn't also mean that you're neurodivergent. It could be trauma or it could be something else. It isn't true for every neurodivergent person. Some people have incredibly vivid autobiographical memories. Others experience life very differently. But if you've ever felt this strange sadness when looking back on your life, if you've ever felt like whole chapters are really fucking blurry, like you're having an out of body experience, if you've ever wondered why your happiest moments don't feel as vivid as they should, you're not strange. And you're not alone because I'm right there with you. The beautiful thing is that healing isn't about getting the past back because unfortunately we can't. And I wish with every fibre of my being that I could, knowing what I know now. But life doesn't unfortunately work like that. I might cry now actually. But we can create more moments where our nervous system feels safe enough to be present now if we allow it. And that might look like slowing down, putting your phone away, or just noticing small mindful moments. Listening to your child's laugh for 10 extra seconds, even if they are now adults and they have been through traumatic experiences, down to your own nervous system. Taking a deep breath before rushing on to the next thing. Presence isn't about perfection, it's about giving your brain the chance to realize this moment doesn't need to be survived. It can simply be lived. And maybe that's what nostalgia is really teaching us, not to chase memories that we've lost, but to build new ones that we actually get to experience whilst they're happening and not being in autopilot. Thank you so much for listening. This is something that I've struggled to put into words for a long time, but after meeting a lot of people lately and hearing a lot of different experiences, I know it's a really prevalent thing. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your experiences. Does nostalgia ever feel like grief to you? Let me know in the comments because I have a feeling more of us feel this than we realise. And if this resonated with you or you have any feedback, please always leave comments or likes or dislikes or anything so I know that you're there and you're listening and what I can do to improve this. Please don't leave dislikes. It really disheartens me and the RSD is real, but when someone leaves a like, or a star or a comment, honestly, it makes my day. As a neurodivergent person that suffers RSD, please, if you felt anything from this, please let me know. Thank you so much, lovelies. I really appreciate you always. Have the most beautiful day. Keep hold of them memories from now on. We're not just surviving anymore. We're gonna live, okay?